So now look at the vector. So the cross representation. This is the cross sectional view of two conductors. The cross represent the current is going into this screen, and whereas dot represent the current is coming out from the screen. So using the right hand thumb rule, we can identify what is the direction of the magnetic field around the conductors. So if you use the right hand thumb rule, you can see that the magnetic field, the lines of force of the magnetic fields, the direction of lines of force of the magnetic fields around the conductor. If the current is if it is a dot, then it is anti-clockwise direction. If it is cross, then it is a clockwise direction. Now you can see that here it is very clear that it is a cross. That is means the current is moving into the screen. The direction of the lines of force, see, the direction of lines of force is clockwise. Whereas here you can see that it is a dot. A dot represent the current is coming out from the screen. So if you apply the right hand rule, then the direction of the lines of force is anti-clockwise direction. And if you see, look at the complete picture of the lines of force around a current carrying conductor, two current carrying conductor, we can see that using color code we can represent the strength of the field, and the red indicates it's a strong magnetic field, whereas the blue indicates it's the weak magnetic field. And these are the arrow which we are used to represent the direction of the lines of force, and each arrow represent a vector. So this is an example of vector. So each arrow is a vector quantity. It has both direction and it has magnitude, and we can use ax, ay and a is terms to represent each vector in this field. So this field is developed around the lines of force because it is carrying some current. So all the current carrying conductor will produce some amount of flux. So here the flux is a vector. It is a vector quantity. So you can represent that vector quantity using ax, ay and az terms. Okay, there are some operators available to apply these vector fields. So one of these operators is a differential operator. So this is a del. It's a del. It's a differential operator. So del we can represent as it's a partial derivative of a function on x. Then we need to add the x-axis unit vector plus the partial differentiation of the vector on the y, and then we add the y-axis unit vector plus partial differentiation of a vector on z, then we add a unit vector. So this is the differential operator del. So there are three possible operations with the del. There are three possible operations with the del. It is very important. Let us take a vector. So v is a vector. It's we can write down vx ax plus sorry, so let's v equal to vector v equal to vx ax plus vy ay plus vz az. Okay. So there are three possible operations with del. The first one is gradient. the gradient of any scalar function is the maximum space rate of change of that function. If the scalar V represent the electric potential, del V represent potential gradient. So suppose let V is a electrical potential. This is a electric potential. Then del V represent, it's a potential gradient. So how to represent del V? This is del V. If it is a potential, the vector in the vector form, potential is represented in the vector form, then the gradient of the potential, so del V is the gradient of potential, that is a potential gradient. So how we can write this del V? Dou by dou x of, I am partial differentiating this vector, the potential vector V, then Ax, then partial derivative of the same vector with respect to y, and Ay plus the partial derivative of the vector V with respect to z, then Az. So this is the gradient of V. So if you look at the gradient of this vector, you can see that Ax, Ay and Az terms are there. So the gradient of V is a it is a vector quantity. It is a vector because you have the information about what is the magnitude of this vector along Ax, Ay and Az. So divergence is the next operation. So it can be represented as del dot V, del dot vector. It may be any vector. It may be any vector. It may be a potential or electric field or flow of fluids or flow of airflow. So divergence. So divergence, let us write it down. So del is dou by dou x Ax plus dou y Ay Az dot next vector, this vector Vx Ax plus Vy Ay plus Vz Az. And if you do the dot product of Ax and Ax, you will get answer 1. But if you take the dot product of Ax and Ay, then it is 0. So dot product of Ax, this is 1, Ay 1, Az 1. But if you take Ax, Ay, then it is 0, Ax, Az, then it is 0, Ay, Az, then it is 0. So all these terms become 0. So you can multiply only Ax with Ax. So then you need to take the partial derivative of Vx. So this become dou by dou x of that function Vx into Ax plus, you cannot multiply Ax and Ay and Ax and Az because it produces 0. Next, I can multiply Ay with only Ay. So this become Vy Ay plus The next term is I can multiply with only AZ and AZ. Then the last term become partial derivative on AZ of this quantity VZ and AZ and AZ. So finally dou by dou x of this vector, and this is 1 plus by dou y of Vy, and this produces the same result 1 plus partial derivative on Z, this will produce 1. Now if you look at this function, so this is del dot V, this is the del dot V. So del dot V is called divergence. So the divergence produce, so the AX, AY and AZ terms are missing here, so it's a scalar. The divergence of a vector is a scalar. See, the divergence of a vector is a scalar. So I will give you some idea about the divergence, and here we can see that there are many charged particles are scattered over the space, and this the arrow represents the direction of the vector fields. So vector field is moving from positive charge to negative charge, and like charges repel and unlike charges attract. And if you look more closely onto this this figure, here we can see that what is the direction of the lines of forces. So here vector fields are converging. Here the vector fields are moving out. So this is acting as a source, this point is acting as a source, whereas this point is acting as a sink. If you look at this picture, so this is just a sink. All the vector fields are sinking to a single point, and here all the vector fields are emerging out from a single point. So this point is representing as a source. And if you take, if this is a vector, if it is a V, then if you take divergent of the vector, if it is greater than 0, then it is represent a source. That means this point where the divergence of the vector field is greater than 0. But here the divergent of this vector is less than 0. So you can understand, if you take the divergence of a vector and if it is less than 0, we can identify that that point is a sinking point. And if you take the divergence of a vector, if there its value is greater than 0, we can understand that the vector is coming out from that point. It is that point is acting as a source. And if you look at this picture, there is no source and there is no sink. That means if you take the divergence of a vector here, then you will get an answer 0. So magnetic field is an example of it's an example, but in the magnetic field there is no originating point, there is no termination point. The magnetic field outside the bar magnet, the direction of flow is from north pole to south pole, and inside the bar magnet is from south pole to north pole. That means there is no sinking point, there is no source, so divergence of that vector becomes 0.